Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Delks, and I'd like to welcome you to the Compete Mentality podcast, where we host basketball coaches, players, and trainers from around Indiana, the United States, and the world. Our mission is to motivate, educate, and lead others in their faith, basketball, and personal journey to compete, which we define as doing what God is calling you to do, even when it's hard. No matter what stage of life you're in, we're all called to compete. Today's episode is brought to you by the Elementary Basketball Online Training Course from Compete Training Academy. Want to give your elementary hooper a solid foundation for their basketball career? Then be sure to check out this program created by Purdue University standout Courtney Moses Delks. As a child, Courtney fell in love with the game and mastered the basics, which led to her winning the Indiana High School Miss Basketball Award and setting the record for most three-pointers made in Purdue program history. Unlike any other youth basketball course you've seen, this program will walk your child through all the basics of basketball excellence, ball handling, shooting, strength, agility, and basketball IQ. And the best part is that it's all online. The video-based training can be done wherever and whenever it fits into your family's busy schedule. Plus, enrollment gives your child exclusive access to phone calls with Courtney, a private Facebook group, and so much more. Don't let COVID take away an entire season of improvement. Start building your elementary-age Hoopers Foundation today. For details and to register, visit competebasketballtraining.com. That's competebasketballtraining.com. And now I'm excited to introduce to you guys today's guest, Purdue men's basketball's all-time winningest point guard, Lewis Jackson. Lou, thanks for joining us today, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me, JD.
Absolutely, man. And Lou, I kind of wanted to just cut straight to the chase, man. We got a lot of cool topics that we're going to discuss today with Lou. And Lou, he's been training here in Marion for about a month now, and so we're going to dive into some cool things, some local topics as well, and we'll just hop right in. But Lou, I'm going to cut straight to the chase on this question here. MJ
Okay.
or LeBron?
That's tough. That's tough. That's
MJ or LeBron, bro? You got to choose one, and you for the all-time great right here, bro. MJ or LeBron? I'm putting you on the spot.
yeah, you did. You put me on the spot. A lot of people probably. Uh, I got I got big respect for Michael Jordan. Big respect. I think he's basketball terms. Most people are gonna go with Mike. Me personally, I'm gonna pick LeBron just because
Mm.
I'm tied into LeBron. I've watched LeBron from high school till now. So I've watched his failures. I've watched his success. I've watched he's 6'9". He's a point guard. I've watched people get mad because he makes the right play at the end of the game. Sometimes I think, which I mean, respect Mike and Kobe about it a lot. I respect them. Like they were always going to take the shot, but just that mentality. They're different players to compare, but I just feel like LeBron is always trusting his teammates, regardless. People say he runs from the pressure. It's the right basketball play, no matter if it's 5 seconds left in the game or 25 minutes or 12 minutes on the clock. Like he makes the right decision, and just as an overall basketball player, I like LeBron a little bit better, probably because of the passing. But I can't get mad when people pick Mike. But I didn't grow up. I seen Mike in his perfection for 6 years. That's all I can remember in the 90s. I didn't get to
Yep.
see 86, 87. I didn't get to see
Yep.
those years. So I just have a special connection with LeBron.
All
That's
right.
tough, bro.
That's a tough question to start out on. No, I hear you. But so Lou is choosing LeBron, and how about in a one-on-one game? Who are you choosing, MJ or LeBron?
Do they got how many dribbles they got?
Infinite dribbles from the top of the key, and you're playing straight up.
I mean, size wise, you just think LeBron can just overpower him. 270, 275 in his prime ish.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But Mike's a killer, bro. Like, I'll go Mike in a one-on-one game because Mike's a killer. Like LeBron necessarily, like he kills you in different ways. That's tough, bro. But I'll go with Mike. Mike got more scoring titles. I'll go with Mike in there.
All right, all right. I like that. Hey, Lou, I want to talk a little bit about Purdue's team this year. Who's your favorite
Okay.
Boilermaker to watch on Purdue men's basketball this year, and why? Favorite Boilermaker?
Um, that's a tough question. You giving me tough questions today. I'm a big fan of Travion. I just like he kind of gives me that Draymond Green offensive skill set in the big.
Yeah,
I love his passing.
for
I
sure.
love his passing. But Jaden Ivey, Coach wants you to say like he's hanging on rims right now.
Yes, he
And
is.
like for me, like I love athletic players, and especially to see a Purdue guy. Like we haven't really had too many explosive wings per se.
Right.
And yeah, I'm a big fan. Ivy and Newman, they're probably next. That's tough because Eric Hunter's phenomenal the way he guards, run the show. Like I can't pick one of those guys because even Sasha, like I watched Sasha against the Nebraska game,
Mm-hmm.
and I literally told my mom, I was like, I almost want to say Sasha's the best shooter to come from Purdue, but then I'm like, am I getting caught in the moment? But
Yep.
watching how fluently he shoots the ball,
Yep.
like yeah, I can't pick. I can't pick out of those guys. Like, I like a lot. I like the whole team, and individually, I like a lot what they all do separately. So I enjoy watching all of those guys
Sure.
through the
Sure.
intricate parts of the game and seeing what they're great at. So yeah, I
For
can't
sure.
pick.
No, they're a really fun team to watch this year, and I'm excited to see where they're going to go as we come into March. How do you think this Purdue team's going to do this year, man?
I think they can do well. I think they can do well. Obviously, just because of COVID year, you always wish that those guys can deal with the fan aspect part of it, and that always helps you going on the road and winning in tough venues. But I think they have an advantage as well because they've been on the road and they've been in basically it's all neutral site games. Even though you're playing in Mackey, you're playing on the road,
For
it's
sure.
neutral sites. Fans aren't in there, so going into the tournament this year, they've already been in neutral sites. They understand how to play without the crowd's help, and it's
Yep.
just those guys against everybody else. So I could at least see a Sweet 16. I mean, I know they're young,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think a Sweet 16 appearance is too far out of the picture for that group.
I agree. That's what I have in my notes right here. I even have that. That's exactly what I think too. I do not think Sweet 16 is too far out of the picture by any means. So, we were talking a lot about this freshman class that we have, and
Yeah.
they're very talented. And I believe I saw a stat that 4 or 5 have been player of the freshman Big Ten freshman player of the week.
They
Can't,
have Zach.
can't remember if it was 4 or 5. Do you remember?
I think it's four. I know Zach
Right.
Edey was first.
Yep.
Zach Edey, obviously Ivy,
Yep. Newman,
Newman,
Gillis has got it.
and I'm not. And so yeah, so those four. And I'll say this about Gillis. Like I'm impressed because I remember him before the injuries in high school. I remember all the hype
Yep.
behind him,
Yep.
and just even the players he's turned into. That it speaks volumes of him too. Like I didn't want to leave him out when I thought about just guys like he's a winner. And the way he plays
Absolutely.
on the court, like he's a winner. Like that
He-
freshman group, those four guys are
yes.
five. Because even what's my guy name? He hasn't been playing. Moore,
Yeah.
Ethan. Is it Ethan Moore? Like Coach Payne speaks highly of him when you watch him, and he's been sick, and you can just tell. Like I think a lot of fans have to remember sometimes being sick and being in and out of practice. Like it's hard to get a rhythm, but
Yep.
even with him, you can see his passing ability, the IQ of the game. Like
Oh no,
the sky's the limit for this group.
Ethan Morton. He's going to be the cog in the wheel that puts it all together here in a year or two. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
No, so obviously a very talented freshman class. And I love you shouting out Gillis. I love watching Mason Gillis. He is like your prototypical Boilermaker. Just
Absolutely.
tough, plays hard. I just love watching him. So talking about this freshman class, here comes the comparison now. Okay. I want to compare this class to the baby Boilers. Okay. Could this freshman class rival the success of the baby Boilers?
Yeah, but you have to look at that. Just go down a list of what they have. I think the one thing for the baby Boilers, which kind of sucks, and it still worked out. People forget Scott Martin was there.
Yes.
Like Scott Martin was a phenomenal player. I got to play with Scott Martin my junior year in college. We went on the East Coast All-Star trip overseas, and
Yep.
Scott Martin can put the ball up. Left hand 6'8", nice mid-range game, shoot the
Very
ball
nice.
as well. So
Yeah.
you had him. Obviously, Rob Hummel was Rob Hummel, E'Twaun Moore, Jawan Johnson. Those guys speak for themselves.
Yep.
But I think this class can, when you look at the two wing players, I think Coach Painter's never had. I feel comfortable saying there's two wings like Newman and Ivy at the same time on the court, like just as athletic and shoot the ball well. Kramer could score, but Kramer always sacrificed for the defensive end, which you got Hunter that's kind of sacrificed his offense. So let those two guys as wing players
Yep.
really, get the ball and just really run the motion offense well. Mason's a winner. Like, you just plug him in, kind of similar to Rob. I think obviously Rob shoots the ball a little bit better, a little bit more offensive skill, but you
Yep.
can put him anywhere. He's a nucleus. And then obviously if Edie just puts it together at his size,
Yes. Right.
you have to put the comparison there with those guys, and especially to be young and having production the way they are, nothing else but positive things are going to go up because now they've had the experience and it's going to click next year. Like, I've been here before for all those guys.
Right. No, for sure. And when I look back and I look at Rob and E'Twaun and Rob and E'Twaun, especially as freshmen, they couldn't have been more ready, like freshman ready players. Which I think Rob and E'Twaun, Jawan really came into his own about a year later. But
Yeah, absolutely.
but Rob, especially Rob, I mean, he was a Wooden Award watch player as a
Right.
freshman. And so, but I would agree with you. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Baby Boilers have a special place in my heart. Just that is kind of my time period. I think, I mean, E'Twaun Moore and Rob and Jawan and their careers looking looking at their career today, it speaks for itself. But no, I'm with you. And we got five pieces, five freshmen
Yeah.
that if they stay together and stay unselfish and come together, that could be a really, really special team.
No doubt.
Maybe there's Nate, I don't know. I'm gonna make this statement, and you push back on me. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm not sure any of those are as talented as an E'Twaun Moore, Rob Hummel, but the fact they got five freshmen that are that a 5-player freshman class that are all together. Jaden Ivey, he could be,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
E'Twaun came in and kind of just took the league by storm.
Yeah, I'll say, because even when you talk about those guys, there's 2 points that came on my the first thing with Rob, E'Twaun, and Jawan, as individually talented they won. And I think for this group of freshmen, that's always going to be, that's the bar. We've had talented players, we've had talented guys, but can you win a Big Ten championship? Can you make a push in the NCAA tournament? That is going to be what puts this class next to the Baby Boilers, because the Baby Boilers, they won. It wasn't just about individual stats, even though those guys had phenomenal stats, they were winners as well.
Correct.
And then as far as individual talent, I think Jaden Ivey does definitely look like a star. He looks like the guy, like, obviously shooting with more confidence, just his athleticism. He can be the guy that has a phenomenal career. I think Brandon Newman can be one of those guys quietly,
absolutely
has a phenomenal career, but it can be in a different way. Like, each one more, I always tell people, like, stars arguing, guys will be like, he's not that good, man. Is he really that good? I'm like, yo, he's a bucket. It's just not sexy. But if you look at it, like you said, from day one, each one more walked in the door. Him and Robbie Hummel were they were on a different level. And just the scoring wise, like, yeah, I wouldn't put anybody over E'Twaun and Rob. Just, not individual talent. But Jaden Ivey and Brandon Newman definitely have a chance to be special.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not. The jury's out for sure. I'm just saying, as freshmen coming in, taking the league by storm, Rob and E'Twaun were definitely a cut above. And I love how you're talking about this, setting the bar for this group of freshmen is are you winning Big Ten championships? Courtney and I talk about that all the time with different players in men's and women's basketball. And you can look at stats, but did you win? And that's really what it's about. Is basketball is the team sport, and it takes 5 guys, not just one. And so if you a buster, and if you are a jerk, like, but you're getting 30 and you ain't winning, that for what? For what?
Right. I think high school guys even have to hear that message, because as a basketball player, like, scoring is cool. Like, you get caught up in the scoring because so many people glorify scoring. But when you're competitive and you get to the next level and you keep playing up, like, guys look at that like, hey man, you had 30, but your team got beat by 15. So probably 10 to 12 of those points were meaningless. It's a difference between scoring 15 and your team wins by 5 or 6 in a meaningful game than scoring 30 in a blowout. Like, guys are going to look at you like, everybody was just trying to get through the game. You just got your points late.
Exactly. And I love Lou's calling out the high schoolers. Lou and I have had the opportunity to go to a couple of high school games, and that's what we're looking for. When we're watching you guys and watching you guys hoop, we're like, man, is this guy just out to get his, or is he a winner? Is he playing with his team? Is he playing hard? If you score 15 points and you win and your team won and you played in the confines of your team, like, that's what matters. But if you scored 30 or 40 and you lost, like, for what?
Yeah. Coaches are looking for more winners. And I think even that concept, it's not getting driven into kids' heads. Like, in life, you don't want to work for the company that's not Fortune 500 or winners. Like, winners want to be around other winners.
That's right.
You don't want to be around people that's not successful. And even if you're the smallest piece of a winning company, like the basketball team, if you're the 12th man, but you're on a winning team, coaches, people understand, like, hey, you're important. You may not be getting the recognition on TV, but you must be going hard in practice. You're showing up. You're holding guys accountable. You're pushing the players that's there. You're knowing the scouting report. You're ready for your opportunity. John Hart's always a great story because he didn't play a lot. He's behind E'Twaun Moore, but he stayed ready. And then the fact that the time he got that shot at Illinois, he helped us win one of the biggest games in the Big Ten of the season, but he was ready for his opportunity, and he always did his job. And a lot of guys got to know that, like, when I'm with winners, as long as I do my role, the accolades and success will definitely come your way.
I love the shout out to our guy, John Hart. And for you listeners, we have John Hart on a podcast a couple episodes ago, and where John details just being ready, and where John detailed the shot at Illinois and the epic game that he came in and coach called his name, and you just got to be ready. I hate it when people make excuses and say, like, hey man, you know how hard it is to come in and, be ready to play after sitting for the whole game. But like, you just got to be ready. There's no excuses. And John Hart is a player who was just always ready, and he didn't make any excuses.
No doubt.
So Lou, I want to hear an epic recruiting story in your journey. Lewis Jackson was recruited by, man, a lot of teams. Lou, tell us who you recruited by, and an epic recruiting story.
I was recruited by Gonzaga, Tennessee, Xavier, obviously Purdue, IU jumped in the picture, Illinois, Iowa. I'm forgetting Dayton, Bradley, Illinois State. It's UNLV, USC. It was a nice amount. I'm forgetting some. I'm definitely forgetting some. Man,
so what a journey and experience you were able to go through.
Blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Major blessing. Like, I learned early. It turned into a business. It definitely turned into a business. I understand it. Probably an epic one. How was it? I don't know. I got probably 2. Dayton coach. I can't think of Dayton's assistant. Super cool guy. Like, he recruited me. Like, he really wanted me. Like, he would call me so much sometimes when it was okay to call me. Like, I had to tell my godfather once, like, hey, I'm done answering this phone calls. Like, I know he wants me, but I was like, I'm done. Like he's calling more than my girlfriend at the time. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that was crazy. And then probably the weirdest one was Creighton. Actually, I went to Creighton. My assistant coach at the time, Alan Huss, he went to Creighton. So he took me up to the elite camp. Dana Altman was still there. He was there.
Yep. Yeah.
So we went to camp. Kyle Korver, this one Kyle Korver was playing for the Sixers.
Yes.
And we're playing an open gym. And like, I am balling. Like, I know people like to exaggerate, but like, I'm balling. I am balling. I'm looking at Kyle Korver like, I can make it to the league. But at the time, I'm not understanding. He's just an elite 3-point shooter,
right,
you know.
For sure.
Good conversation with Kyle. And then after we played, they even let me play with the team, because normally you have to play at night with the team, but they let me play with the team while the campers were there. So everybody knew I was getting recruited. So after that, played well. Then Altman takes me into his office. We're talking, and he's like, "You got a scholarship here, but I know you probably won't come. But just letting you know you got a scholarship." And as a 17-year-old kid, I'm looking like, "So do you want me, or
right?
You basically know I'm not coming here." Like, it was one of those moments where he's like, "You're like," I was playing at a high level,
right.
But I was shocked for a coach to offer me, but be like, "Yeah, I know you're not going to come here, but it's here if you want it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of crazy. He should have stepped in there with a little more confidence wanting you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess because it was the mid-major at that time, and Creighton was on the rise, but it was definitely. It was one takeaway. It was like I walked away feeling super proud of myself, but feeling confused at the same time.
Like, do you want me or not? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so you got to go get it if you want it.
No doubt.
So, Lou, you've been blessed to play with a lot of great players. Players. Tell us the teammate you respect the most and why. You go into a schoolyard pick, and you got to pick one teammate. Who you picking?
And that's tough because E'Twaun Moore is a bucket. Like I just trust E'Twaun Moore with anytime I just need a bucket. But Rob is special. Probably professionally though. Sean Singletary went to Virginia.
Yep.
We're similar, and I just remember my year in the D League. We played against each other first, and we competed, and then he ended up getting traded over to our team. So it was that competition level. Like, I'm a starting point guard, you're a starting point guard. Like, he's from Philly, I'm from Decatur. Like, we both just have a tough mentality. Like, two pit bulls, you're gonna fight me. And like literally the first day of practice, like, you felt the tension. Like, everybody in the gym knew and wanted to see them match up, and it was just like, okay, let's get it on. And we're getting it on. I'm talking about physically. Like, he ended up, I think he gave me a black eye. I busted his lip. And after that, like, he just took me under his wing because he was a veteran. I'm looking at him like, man, you beat Duke. Like, you're Sean Singer. Like, he's the first guy made me go get in the pool, work out. And he was going through hip problems, but just tough. Like, we literally, I walked out here with a black eye. He had a busted lip. So I'd probably pick Sean.
Man, that's a cool story, and you give me chills over here. Just that's what it means to compete, ladies and gentlemen. Like, when I think of players that compete, Lewis Jackson, man, he's at the top of the list for me. And he, like he said, he was just fighting Sean Singletary day one, and you can't back down from nobody. You can't back down. So, Lou, again, you've been able to play against a lot of talented players.
Yeah.
Out of all the players you've played against, who is the best player that you've played against?
Wow. In college, I'll do college professionally. College, the name alone, Steph Curry, gets everybody excited.
Yep.
But probably the toughest, Evan Turner. Like, Rob made me really go back and think about something like Manny Harris. Kalen Lucas was always tough for me just as a personal matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But Evan Turner is 6'7". He's a National Player of the Year.
Yeah, he was amazing.
What, number 2 draft pick? Like, Evan Turner was just different that year in the Big Ten. Like, I had to guard him. Kramer guarded him. And he always had, like, even for me, most big guys struggle when I got up under him. Right. But Evan was good enough to where he would use my body in his spin move. He had a spin move and a behind the back move was just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Like, he's probably the toughest college player. Isaiah Thomas was tough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm still going Evan Turner. Evan Turner was a different animal. Yeah. And then professionally, Man, Pierre Jackson just in a one-on-one matchup stands out. Like Pierre Jackson was phenomenal. Um, man, I done seen some cats though. Who? I'll go Pierre. I think I'll just go Pierre. Let alone like my size can shoot it, the speed. Like I hate guarding guys that's actually fast as me. So I would say Pierre Jack. Yeah, Pierre Jackson for sure.
Man, those are some dogs right there. I love you bringing up the story about Steph. And for those of you guys don't know, Lou was a part of the crew that held Steph Curry to 13 points. Lou, tell us about that day and just like the mindset you and the team had going in to stop Steph Curry.
I mean, the thing from the jump is like we pride ourselves on defense. We've watched Curry. At this point, everybody knows who he is. It's just like you're not getting 25, 30 points on us. Like we're not going to be on your highlight reel. So that was the biggest thing. And then for me, I got the nod that I had to start on him. Yeah. And at this time, I'm a freshman. I think I'm 7 games into the season. Like this is still Steph Curry to me. Like I'm still kind of in fan mode from the high school kid. Like I just watched this kid last tournament. He just be, dropping 30s, 40s. And I'm like, I got to guard him. And it was like, okay, it was like, you can't be a fan at this point. Like it's over with. And literally the first play of the game, he starts out on the right wing and he runs off a triple screen. Like his handle has gotten better, but he's always been a great guy that moves without the ball. Like he literally took off on me and I was stuck and I'm fast. Like I was behind. Like thank God he missed the first 3. Like I can't take any credit. He just missed the first 3. And then Coach Penner looked at me and he was like, we're just going to do stay defense. And for what that means, if people don't know, you don't help. You literally just stay with him. You don't, if a guy's driving to the lane for a layup, I don't care. You don't help off of this guy. Like we're not going to get him going. And then once we started to see like kind of bumping them in the physicality, just locking in, everybody's like, yeah, we're shutting this down tonight. Like we got to get this win. And they were at the time, I want to say they were top 10, top 15 team. So the game was more important than just Steph Curry alone too. Like it was 2 top ranked teams playing.
Right, man. That's it. I love hearing that story. That's an incredible story. And for those of you guys who big fans of Steph Curry, I love how Lou said, he's a freshman, and he said I was kind of in fan mode, but he said you just got to put that aside and you just got to go out there and fight, and you got to compete from the tip. So Lou, you've been. So I got a local question. So for all the for the locals listening here. So you've been here for a month, training here with CTA. What are some of your go-tos for food around here now, bro?
For food, I've gotten out a little bit for food. I've been cooking a little bit more, but obviously the Chick-fil-A on IWU's campus is always a hit. And then I can sneak and be a student for like a little like 10 minutes. I can at least walk on campus and be a student. I'm still mess with Panda Express, but I can't say the taco place name. I did 2. What's El Morales? How you say it?
Esmeralda's, yeah.
I did that one. And then what's the one on Baldwin right there by the car dealership? I think you talked about that one.
Las Schradas.
Yeah, I've done both of those. Like both of those. Oh yeah, of course, the barbecue spot. Obies. Yes. Obies, man. Like I'm critical of barbecue, but no, Obies is fire. Like Obies, shout out to Obies. Like I stayed like a couple blocks from Obies. Yeah, big shout outs to Obies, man. Like, yeah. Good barbecue. Barbecue. So
people, if you haven't been to Obies, you need to check it out. Lou and I got the platter, and I think I had ribs and wings, and Lou had ribs and pulled chicken.
Yeah.
And tell them about the sauce, Lou.
Sauce is phenomenal. They got so many varieties. I had a spicy barbecue, but then they had like, what was it, North Carolina style?
Yes.
It was different. Like I never had it before, but it was fire. Like, I got to get the Obi soon when I get back.
That's right. That's right. And I'm a North Carolina boy, born in North Carolina, and I like that North Carolina sauce. So I love that there's a barbecue joint here locally that it's different. It's like it's a tangy flavor, but I think you'll like it. You got to try OB soon. They got great sides. We
Yeah.
had mac and cheese, collard greens, baked beans. They were all fantastic. You get a lot of good food. I've had the brisket sandwich there a couple times, and their burnt ends on the brisket, so tasty, so good.
Mm.
Local people, go check it out. Also, I want to give a shout out for local people to Scott Briggs Chiropractor.
Yeah.
Lou's been there a couple times. And Lou, is that the first time you've been to a chiropractor? Is that right? Or
It's like my second, but this is consistent. Like I went 2014 when I was playing in the Erie in the D League. I went. That was the first time I ever went, and then I hadn't been back since. But yeah, I go to Scott every week. Every week, like the
yeah.
must.
Scott is the first chiropractor that I've been to, and he does a phenomenal job. There's so much tied into your health by going to the chiropractor, even your sinuses. And for active people like Lou, like me, I'm a very active person, and sometimes your hips get out and you don't even realize it, or your back gets out. I highly recommend you go to Scott Briggs. Lou, just tell us a little bit about your current training right now and how you're improving your game.
Oh man, training with CTA has been phenomenal. Obviously we've talked off air and different things like that, but just even for me, like I've never had this much. I don't want to say the correct word. I just never had this many people focus on breaking down my shot. Some of the most simplest nuances in my shot I've never broke down and never even understood how to become a better shooter. Like knowing to shoot, elbow to your eye, really spacing, getting your fingertips with the ball, shooting the ball well. It's high level training, but it's always geared toward making you a better player. And I've seen it like literally in a month. Like people said they want, like I've became a better shooter just knowing my shot, feeling the adjustment, knowing like I feel like a better shooter. And it's just high details. Like I feel like CTA really, whatever you need to improve on as a player, you guys really focus on helping breaking that down. And that's big because I've dealt with other trainers. I won't say their name, but they've dealt with other high level guys, and it's more about the money. And they'll put every guy through the same workout, whether you're 5'8" to 6'10". Like at one time, I worked out with Jawan Johnson in this canner, and they had me doing Carmelo Anthony post ups. I'll never do a Melo. Like I mean, it's great to have,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
that didn't benefit me at all in my
Right.
game. It was just like I'm out here doing big man work for no reason. But
Right.
it is great when, especially, you can go to a trainer and people that care about your individual success and are willing to really break your game down and not just put you through a high level workout and then expect you to become a better player.
Absolutely appreciate the shout out. And for all you guys listening, uh, Lewis has been the hardest working player that I've ever trained, and not even close. And so I want all you guys to know that if you want something, you got to go get it. You got to sell out. And Lou has stayed coachable, and he gives it everything he has. And that's why every single week we've been statting Lou's shots, and every single week his field goal percentage has gone up because he's applied the coaching and gotten better each and every week. He's also been treating the game like a pro. So he's hitting the weight room, he's hitting the pool, he's doing yoga. It's all those things. I just had a conversation last night in my high school group about treating the game like a pro. You can't just show up on the court or show up to CTA and that's how you're going to get better. You got to treat it like a lifestyle. You got to treat it like a lifestyle 24/7. You got to get the right rest. And so that is what we pride ourselves in as CTAs, helping you guys treat the game like a pro, taking your game to the next level. And there's a lot of awesome things to look forward to that are going to be coming up. Me and Lou got some tricks up our sleeves that I want you guys to be looking out for on the marketing and on the socials. We got a lot of cool things that Lou and I are going to be able to provide to CTA and those who want to train with us. Also, there's also another a big surprise coming up. So please be paying attention to our socials. Lou, you're a big time leader. You're the all-time winningest point guard at Purdue. Just kind of as we close this out, give our audience some inspiration. Maybe it's a quote, leadership concept, a good book you're reading, a or just something that's inspired you in your daily living? Inspire us, bro.
Um, to the kids, but adults as well that's watching. I think it's watching. Yeah, we talked about Michael Todd. You know, he talks about going into the deep, and in a sense, for kids, the other way you could look at that is being uncomfortable. Anytime like you're in an environment, basketball, any career you want to do, like continue to push yourself. In the moments where things like you feel like you can't do it, or you feel like the opportunity is too big, and you feel like you're not ready for that, like go for it.
Mm.
Go for it, because the only time you really can grow in life is when you're uncomfortable. When you're always in the environment that you can control and you know the outcome and you know how things are going to be,
Yep.
you can't necessarily reach your full potential and be the person you're called to be. But when you're able to take those leaps of faith and trust in God and you go for the biggest goals, even if you fail, but you go for the biggest goals, you find out who you are. And 9 times out of 10, you reach your goals as long as you stick with it and just trust the process. But yeah, go big. Never settle for less. Go for, I would always tell somebody, just go for big, regardless of what another person tells you. Their dream is not their dream is not your dream. They don't see your vision. What's meant for you is what's meant for you. And never settle just to be average. Whatever you're doing in life, go for big.
Wise words from one of the greatest point guards in Purdue history and the all-time winningest point guard in Purdue history. And CTA hoopers and adults and listeners, you got to go for it. Sell out, just like Lou is. He's selling out for his dream. He's inspiring so many people. And those of you who train with us, be looking for Lou to be around and soak up what he has to say. He has so much wisdom to give from his experiences and the game. Lou, thanks for joining us today. CTA family, always remember that competing is doing what God is calling you to do, even when it's hard.